Life can move and shake you like an earthquake. When this happens, you have to learn to shake and move the best way you can, like I do. Join Dakota Caldwell on The Dakota Show, putting life in you and your family's lives.
So, everybody, I have a Iowa native here, in a country rock soul, I guess you would say, singer. His name is Dane Louis. He's originally from Sioux City, and so I thought, why not? Why not have him on today? And so a big thank you to Dane as well, but a big thank you to Core PR for making this possible. So, Dane, how we doing today?
Good, Dakota. Thanks for having me on, man. Glad to be
Yes,
on.
I'm excited to interview you. I know when I first seen the email, and usually I see Nashville and that kind of thing, and I saw originally from Sioux City, Iowa, or something like that. And
Yeah.
emailed like I emailed them like right away. Like it was crazy. So I'm very excited.
That's
So
awesome.
uh, I guess my first question for you today is, what made you say yes? This is what I want to do because I sound good doing it, but also doing it for a living.
Yeah. It's a hilarious question. It came out of a lot of it took a lot of self esteem that I didn't have to do it, but I wanted to do it really, really bad. It was more the biggest thing. And after I kind of got bit by the guitar bug, no one in a high school band that I was playing with wanted to sing. So, out of necessity and no one else jumping for it, I wound up taking singing lessons in choir and stuff like that. And then wound up after that, um, just kept playing for years and years. And we wound up playing a couple bars and playing then some different street festivals like Awesome Biker Nights in Sioux City. We played with Marshall Tucker Band, and then we started traveling around and doing it a little bit more, playing in Oklahoma and all across the Midwest. And then finally, it kind of got to the point we said, "Hell, we'll jump to Nashville and try our hand at the in the epicenter of it." And we haven't had any regrets about it so far. It's been very fun for us, and it's been a good time. Been a little bit of a humbling experience in the best of ways too. So.
Well, that's good. So, you said that like, no one else kind of wanted to jump for it. So, with that being said, um, how did you find your members? Because usually it's like, your high school buddies, they join you. Did they join you,
Yeah.
or did you have to go out on the limb and find your own people to train and stuff?
See, you know that being from Iowa is that all the schools aren't really that big and that crazy.
Yeah.
But I did have my first band. It was three buddies from high school that joined up with me, and we taught my one best friend how to play bass guitar, and one person played guitar when this band was starting. So then we just kind of kept playing together, and then there was a drummer that showed up and he did a damn good job, and we played together for years, and then we kind of wound up actually meeting a couple other musicians once we got into the fold, and it kind of wound up being you meet this person that introduces you to that person that introduces you to the next person, and then all of a sudden that guy's your guitar player, and then that guy's and it just kind of kept us that for years. But the band is pretty much entirely based at, well, let's see, we got two guys from that still live in Sioux City and they commute to Nashville. My guitar player that lives with me here in Nashville is from Norfolk, Nebraska, and then our other guitar players actually from Richmond, Virginia, that we met since we've been here. So it's kind of become a melting pot. But yep, it started out with four buddies from high school.
Well, that's cool, and it's kind of funny how um, you just make connections, and that's how you make a living is by making connections. Without even having to have a certain degree in something. Now
Exactly.
I'm not telling the listeners or the young listeners that college isn't important, because I guess in a way it is.
It
Um, you
it's
know,
specific.
yeah,
If you want to be, want to be something specific, college is great. But in this industry, yeah, you're very right. It's
yeah,
all connections.
yeah, it's all connections, and so that's just amazing. And so, um, my next question for you then is, how true is is it out there in Nashville? You have to build yourself up as an artist up there. It doesn't just happen, you know.
Absolutely, absolutely. It really does. So I think for most people that are striving for longevity in music, it is very much that point. Now there are some outliers that just kind of blow up overnight, and there are some true overnight successes out here. However, I think and it's kind of a personal take on it. I think they're disserviced themselves. Like it's not their blow up overnight. Congratulations, that's awesome. That's amazing. Proud of you. But I think they are done a disservice if they did to kind of go through the motions and cut their teeth. But it's true that I would say about 99% of the time out here that you do have to, I mean, put your feet to the pavement and really grind for it. Build your network, go bump elbows with everybody, and no one's going to do it for you, I guess. Even the people that blow up overnight, no one's going to do it for them. They still got to be diligent about being responsive to their team once they build their team, and it's a hard thing to get used to too. I mean, coming from a smaller place and kind of running the show yourself versus then you're bringing other people into your world, like my core PR folks. They're amazing, some of the best people ever, and
Yeah.
and and they know me so well now and know how much trouble I have listening and following directions. uh, and so but it's super important that you do absolutely build yourself up and use those around you to help you build yourself up 100%.
Now, with you saying, there's some overnight successes, in your take, do you think those people that have overnight successes, do you think they just write songs to become an overnight success? Or do you really think they write songs that are meaningful to them and they take their time doing it?
That's a good question. I think there's a little bit of both out there. For the most part, it's, it's kind of like this is where I start to get in trouble and start talking a little too honest. But for the most part, they don't write their own songs. and But yeah, there are some out there that are they do spend a lot of time dialing into a song, and a lot of the ones that you'll see for the years to come. Guys like even outside of country music, you got guys like Post Malone that are writing songs that are very heartfelt to them and very, you know, true to their core, and they are overnight successes. But the thing is, the overnight success thing is usually it's the only overnight success thing anymore is TikTok, and
Yeah.
everything else winds up being whoops, darn it. Everything else winds up being you have to uh, really carve it out, and there's a lot of years that go into that overnight success. There's weeks that you're recording and you're being diligent about it. So I think most of the true guys that pop up out of nowhere, they really they really carve it out themselves and build it up over time. They focused on the song, I guess I should say.
So I get what you're saying. So, like for instance, one of the guys you opened up for, his name is Ryan Hurd. I think
Uh-huh.
I think he's really trying to work his way up as well as you. But I think I get where you're going with that. the guys that pop out of nowhere, the guys that really take their time and do things smooth.
Yeah, Ryan has been a great songwriter for years and years. Um, and he's written for Lady Antebellum. He's written for a bunch of folks, and his wife Marin's having great success right now. And but he's Ryan. I remember hearing back in like 2016 when he first came out, and he's making sure he doesn't just get famous for nothing or pop off. You know, what I mean,
Mm,
it's kind of the other careful thing about Nashville is you want to make sure you don't get famous for the wrong thing, and or
yeah.
have success in the wrong thing. So being very cautious of what songs you're writing and what you're doing is crucial.
Yeah, and I think you're right, and it's very tough not to, jump the gun. I'm a very jump the gun person, so I and
Yeah,
I'm
me
sure
too.
it's hard not to, step out your door and be like, I want to be that guy and I'm going to become that guy today, and so
Yep, exactly.
I'm sure it's a little, you get some anxiety with that too, you try to
For sure.
want to become the right person, but it's hard.
Right.
So,
Oh yeah, absolutely it is. And that's a very good point is making sure you are the right guy. That's the best thing. It's hard to or not do something someone else has done, I mean, be your own animal, be your own person. That's a hard thing to do a lot of days.
yeah. Yeah, and that's, definitely if you're the younger generation, um, um, that is something, nowadays that even in high school, it's hard to be your own person some days because you want to fit in. So,
Right. Exactly. No, but it's the most rewarding thing once you get there too, if you
yeah,
hung out.
yeah. And, so, let's kind of go back to your success in a way. And let's go to now. Given that you no, so in one word, could you sum up the Iowa farewell show? And let's remind people you sold 600 plus seats that night.
Yeah, yeah. The farewell show was a lot of fun. Um, man, it was kind of a good culmination right before we left for Nashville to have validated that our time spent in Iowa wasn't overlooked and everybody enjoyed it as much as we did, and it meant the world to us. I mean, the band guys and I talk about it all the time, and I still think it was one of our favorite shows as a group, and we were super stoked to have that send off. We definitely weren't expecting it for one, but then seeing everybody and recognizing a lot of the faces, and even better was not recognizing a lot of the faces that have said that they've been at several shows, and it was probably one of the best nights we've ever had as a group, and I love it. It was a great time.
Well, that's good, and you know, it's just one of those things that no matter how bad your days gets and stuff like that, you will always remember that one moment where you did have a high peak, or you did have
Yeah,
good success. And you know um I am the same way too. I when I have my bad days, I just try to remember the peaks that I've done and stuff like that. So, um, so now, given that you just released another single, when can we,
hmm
or should I say myself, expect more music?
Very, very soon, man. It's probably in March is kind of when we're tentatively setting our date for right now. Sometime around St. Pat's is kind of when we're planning on doing the next single release. So we're not really wasting any time, and it's gonna. The last year we spent kind of getting out of a rougher management deal that we were kind of negotiating, and it didn't work out on our end, and so we got out of it, and we're kind of restructuring ourselves. And the most beautiful part about all this is we've had these songs for a little while now, done and recorded, and we haven't been able to release them in lieu of that deal going on. So now we're out of it, and now we get to release all of our stuff as we
Yeah.
want to. So it's kind of it's going good again.
Well, that's good, and I guess I that's part of the good parts of being an independent artist is if you want in a way you can choose what you want to release, when you want to release it, and that kind of stuff. So I totally get
It's the
that.
best.
Um,
That's the best, man.
yeah, I'm sure it is because it's like, well, it's my work, it's our work, and we should be able to
Right,
release it, so I get
as you
that
want.
frustration. Um,
Yep.
so, speaking about new music, let's talk about your newest single, Fire, which people will hear in a couple moments.
Awesome. Yeah, no, Fire was a lot of fun, man. We've had this song for a couple years. We did some early releases a couple of years back. We did an album called Lone Pine, and then we did an EP called Heartaches and Harlots, and they both were fun little projects that we did. The second one was in 2020, but when we got back to the world, we kind of figured, we'll let that thing be its own timestamp, be that its own piece, and those that had it when they had it, that's all the longer it'll be. So we pulled both albums, and then we're like, all right, now we're gonna get out to Nashville and do everything the new way, the way that we want to. Well, Fire was one of the songs that we thought was kind of a fun song. It was a good party song. I call it beer country. There's not a whole lot of like in-depth substance
Yeah.
to it other than just a good time song. So we got into the studio, and we had a guitar player named Jeff King that plays for Reba McEntire, and just played with Brooks and Dunn and Garth Brooks and a bunch of other people. Jeff is a great, great session player, and Jeff came in to cut some guitar tracks for us. And we sat down with Fire was one of the first ones, and we didn't have a riff for it, but we're like, man, it would be cool to have some sort of signature lick here, and so basically Jeff came in and just laid it out right away. Didn't even he listened to the song twice. He wasn't working through anything. He just sat down and he just instantly played it, and we're like, whoa, that song's got a lot more guts than it used to have. So it was fun. We're like, man, that might be the first single to drop, just to get everyone reacquainted with us and show everyone we're kind of back. It's been kind of 2 years since we did Whiskey Wears Off, and that was fun. But we have a lot of new stuff that we want to share with the world, and I think that was a good first way to do it with a big old party like that song.
Well, maybe if you're listening, pour yourself a glass of champagne and let's listen to the song Fire. And then right after that, we will be back with more.
After a month of red texts and a few missed calls, she finally changed her mind and came along as a one night, one time, give it a try kind of thing. I knew with one taste, like night to day, to put the world on its head, a new coming of age. And in no time short, this here will be the only life she craves. We're gonna light it up until that sun burns out, go until we get enough, and then we go another round. So come with promise, it's a guarantee that with a good time, good whiskey, or desire comes fire. On the rocks, so you think she's tough. Got the kind of walk that leaves your love in the dust. Got you tripping and a calling, all because you're falling for everything she's got. Spend my last dime for one more time. Trade off my soul to make her last name mine. Look down the barrel of a loaded gun with just one shot. She's gonna tear it up, your whole world and your heart. And with any luck, she'll choke it up and blow some smoke rings in the dark. So come whiskey with a Tennessee burn on a backwoods party at the next left turn. There's a flame lighting up the midnight sky, just like the desire in a young girl's eyes. There ain't nothing like a one of the three. Mix it on up and you're bound to see. There ain't just a promise, it's a guarantee that with a good time, good whiskey or desire comes fire. Tennessee burn or a backwoods party at the next left turn. There's a flame lighting up a midnight sky, just like the desire in a young girl's eyes. There ain't nothing like a one of the three. Mix it on up and you're bound to see. It ain't just a promise, it's a guarantee that with a good time, good whiskey or desire comes fire.
Hi, this is Kieran Mulligan, owner-manager of Brown Shoe Fit in Storm Lake, Iowa. Whether you need shoes for work, play, or anything in between, we've got them at Brown Shoe Fit in Storm Lake, your locally owned hometown shoe store. Brown Shoe Fit is a proud sponsor of The Dakota Show.
Hello, my name is Merle's Maple Tree. I am the maple tree. I'm not any ordinary maple tree. Maple syrup that is flavorful. I come in different flavors as much as coffee flavored syrup and cranberry flavored syrup as well. I am not like my cousins, name brand syrup and generic brand syrups. I'm good on meats, on seafood, and so much more. You can find on my website, MerleysMapleSyrup.com. Again, that website is MerleysMapleSyrup.com. See you there.
Sick and tired of not being able to get your business out there and get people in your business, or just are having a slow time getting sales back up? No problem, give me a call at 712-220-2246. Again, my number is 712-220-2246. You can also call if you are a non-profit organization. Call today and get your advertising quote.
This Valentine, spread the love to all your sweet tooth sweethearts with help from Storm Lake Candy Co. We have all the sweets and treats you're looking for made right here in the shop, including chocolate-covered strawberries, creamy homemade ice cream, fresh fudge, and other Valentine's classics. Watch your loved ones cherish the joy that can only come from taking a bite of our candies. Stop by the store or check us out online. We can ship that special gift to that special someone. Let love melt in your mouth this year with Storm Lake Candy Co.
Need custom clothing for your next event? Up in Stitches has been serving since 2011. Call them at 641-842-2223 for your next event, or visit their website at upinstitches.com.
We are back with Dane Louis. And if you were just listening, that was Fire by Dane Lewis, his newest single. And I love that song. I mean, and we'll talk about this more here in a minute, but Dane's just got that nice gravel voice. And it's really good. So, uh,
Thanks, man.
yeah, we will get to more of that. That's a question. How did you get your gravel voice here in a second? But first, okay, where did you? Oh, it's the first question actually. Okay, where did you get that good old gravel voice when you sing? Because I love it.
Thanks, man. No, a lot of people ask that. In the short and true answer, you could say it's like, oh, it's all technique, it's this or that or whatever. The true answer is that I just started smoking cigarettes when I was 16 years old, and that wasn't a good thing. But I was trying to sing like a lot of different rock artists, so I was probably singing really hard on my voice too. On top of the fact that I had been smoking Marlboro Red since I was 16, and then I quit finally. The album cover doesn't suggest that, but I did quit smoking about 2 years ago now. But or shoot, almost three now. It was 2020. It was middle of 2020. So
Wow.
it was. But I still got the dang vape thing. But it helps me not rip people's heads off. But no, ultimately it came from smoking and then singing while smoking.
Yeah, I
So
see.
yeah, but it worked for character, man. So that was good
Mhm.
enough for me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's always a reason for something at the end of the tunnel,
Right,
right?
right,
So,
absolutely.
um, have you done any songwriting for other artists? Um, so like we talked about, Ryan Hurd does some other songwriting for other artists. Have you gone down that path yet? I mean, is that a path that you will want to cross maybe someday, or have you already?
Yeah. So that's a very good question. I actually have gotten into some writers' rooms with some guys that write for George Strait or Montgomery Gentry, and another one that Billy Currington, some Luke Bryan stuff. So some really good songwriters, and I would love to. I'd love to write songs and send them to other artists. That would be one of my favorite things. Stapleton did that for shoot 15 years, I think, before he ever decided to come into the limelight. And I say decided because I watched an interview with him, and he said that basically, I was happy making songs for other people. I didn't need to be, the guy on the poster.
Yeah.
But it's kind of one of those things that I'll let it find me. Um, I think if I got any songs that someone winds up wanting to cut or something like that, then I'll know about it. We got a couple that I think are great suited for other artists that I don't think are suited for me. And so, yeah, I'd absolutely love to do it someday. I'm kind of in the works of doing some of it now. I kind of like to do it simultaneously with doing my own career and then writing
Yeah.
songs for other folks too. So keeps your wits sharp at least.
Yeah, and yeah, I guess that is true. As a music artist, you can still write songs that maybe aren't suited for you, but you can still, at the same time, get a little bit of the royalty with it as well. And it's good because you've got options there.
That's the magic thing right there. Mailbox
Mhm.
money is what we call
Yeah,
it.
yep, yep. It's like getting birthday money in the mail, but.
There you go. Absolutely.
So, now, of course, we've been talking about your music. So, where can people find your music?
It's out there on every streaming service, I think. Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon, Google Play, pretty much anywhere that you can stream music, you should be able to find us pretty easily. Dane like the dog, Louis like St. Louis, and we got 2 singles out there right now. In the next 6 months, that'll be about 6 singles. So
Oh
that's
wow.
kind of where we're hoping to be. So
And then for maybe the older generation, do you guys have physical copies available?
we will have some physical copies coming out in June, and they'll be available
And
on the website, DaneLewisOfficial.com, and I'll be selling CDs and everything like there. And we're also going to do some vinyl prints for the new hipster age folks too that like to listen to that. I love listening to vinyl, but I like finding the old vinyl
yeah,
that all the crackle and the breakup in it. The new vinyl's really cool too, but it has just it's too polished. I got an
yeah.
old Boston records and old Zeppelin records and Tom Petty and stuff that kind of has that old shake up after about 40 years sitting in a box.
Small pops, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so social media connection. Where can fans or going to be fans uh find you and connect with you, that kind of thing?
I'm usually on TikTok and Instagram quite a bit. I hate TikTok, but I love how necessary and evil is. Also, all of 2020, you couldn't pull me off the dang thing, so that's why I think with like the same as a lot of people, and I'm not on it as much as I used to be now personally, but I throw stuff up there a lot. I'm on Instagram a lot, so that's usually the best way for fans to interact. Facebook as well. I'm next to never on Twitter, so if you do anything on my Twitter, I'll notice it right away. So I guess if you really got to talk to me, text me on Twitter or something like that because I don't ever get on there enough. But
Yeah, and so with that being said, I guess, is there anybody that was like, "Oh, you should give me a shout out while you're on the show today," or something like that? So, do you have any shout outs you would like to give?
oh man, I don't have anybody that's asked for any lately. But shoot, I guess I'd like to just give a shout out to my wonderful publicity team at Core PR and my management team, Burning Ground Entertainment, and give a shout out to the fans and the people that have been supporting my music and kept this thing alive too. Anybody out there that's listened to the music, I appreciate the absolute hell out of it. That means the world to us, and there is no way we could do without y'all.
Yeah, the fans are what keep the fan running, kind of, in a way.
Absolutely,
I
I like
mean,
that. I like that for sure. Yep,
so,
that's exactly it.
and we appreciate, you obviously. I mean, I heard someone once say, it is kind of personal to bring your voice out in other people's homes, so we do appreciate you singing songs and
Thank you.
publishing them, and I hope to someday catch you on a tour, and I guess I didn't I didn't put that one in there, or I did, but I skipped it. Any tour dates coming up?
We have we'll be playing on News Channel Nashville, so it's a tour date that no one can actually attend, but everyone can see on February 6th. It's a Monday, and so we'll be on there, and then we are planning. We'll be in actually kind of close to the Midwest. We'll be in Pender, Nebraska on St. Patrick's Day. We're working with an agency right now, or we're working with them, and we're kind of booking some dates right now that we haven't confirmed yet, so we can't really announce a lot of them. But we'll be all across the Midwest and hopefully to the coasts as well this summer. So
Yeah.
just stay tuned. All the dates that are coming up, I think there's about 5 6 dates that we have announced right now, and then all future dates to come will be on DaneLewisOfficial.com as well.
Alrighty. So, if you want to know more about Dane Lewis after the show today, again, like he said, you can go to officiallouis.com. Did I say that right? Uh,
Dane Louis official. Yep.
y- yes. So just hop on there right after if you would like to find out more. And then my last question for you. Well, I guess my second to last question is just thank you again for coming on. It was a absolute pleasure, and I'm sure if you come out with more music, which I know you will, I'm sure you'll be back on again. So,
Sounds
uh,
great.
yeah,
Thank
it
you,
was.
Dakota. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me on today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it was fun, and thank you for taking time out of your busy day to remember
Thanks, man.
remember the
No problem.
small people. So,
I'm one of them, man. I'm one of them. So
yeah.
appreciate you.
Yes. And then, okay, so, and since we have a song at the end, your first song, Whiskey Wears Off, let's
Yeah.
talk about it.
Okay. You want to just hear? Yeah, the rundown, man. It was a real story that happened. I was driving home from somewhere I shouldn't have been about 5 in the morning, and I was kind of this thumb, and I was like using a line that I had used maybe so infamously the night before, where I said, "It was like, well, I might not love you when the whiskey wears off," and I was like, man, that could be a song line. So I just like kind of tapping on the steering wheels of "might not love you when the whiskey wears off," and then I just kind of went like, oh dang, I was like, that's all right, cool. So then I started speeding home, and after I was speeding home, just grabbed the guitar. My roommate had a dog named Abe, and Abe came to the door like, "What are you doing?" Like, give me that disappointed parent look, like, why are you home this early slash late? And then so Abe went and sat with me in the room, and I just kind of started thumbing through it, and it's just a true story. That's about all there really is to it. If you listen to the song, you'll hear about exactly what happens. So,
Well, that's good. I like that song too as well, and um, I think it was. I don't know where I was listening, but I know it was on the radio. Um, uh
awesome,
Somewhere where I was listening because when I clicked on your profile and then I listened to your first single that was out, I'm like, I think I've heard this before. So
awesome, man. Well, thanks for
yeah,
listening.
yeah, and it's a good song, and if you
Thank
haven't
you.
heard it, here it goes. And thanks again. I know I've said that like 18 times,
That's all right,
but
man. Thank you.
yeah, it was a pleasure. All right, everybody, that was Dane Lewis. Until next time, uh, stay safe out there.
She says, boy, why don't you just come home with me tonight? Maybe somewhere in the darkness we can find a light. On a sick collision course, this way life dies. It's feeling like we owe ourselves to give it a try. Said, no, 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 I've been here before. So many burning houses, I just run for the door. She asked me, boy, why you trying to move so fast? Dreamt this night forever, why can't we make it last? 'Cause I might not love you when the whiskey wears off. Just a cold hard truth from a soul's been lost. Like a ship on again. So whether it's headaches, whether it's heartaches, somewhere in between, there will never be an ever for you and me. 'Cause I might not love you when the whiskey wears off, just a cold hard truth from a soul's been lost, like a ship out at sea with no water to cross. The thought of us together's like a dream I forgot, just looking for a little bit of healing tonight. But something about it, baby, doesn't feel right, like a radio playing an old worn out song. I might not love you when the whiskey wears off, when the whiskey wears off.
Thanks for joining us on The Dakota Show. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/The Dakota Show since 2017. And check out our merch at upinstitches.com/T/The Dakota Show. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss a show, and we'll see you next time.